When you play a chess tournament, it's nice to know your opponent's rating because it gives you a hint on how well they're going to play the game and you get mentally prepared. When I was playing this round 1 of an important blitz tournament in Menorca, Spain, I knew that my opponent, Antonio Mehmedov, was rated 1600. And so I thought this would be a relatively easy game. However, that was quickly going to change, and this game was not going to be what I thought it would be. At this point, everything seemed fine. We were smiling and laughing because the arbiter said that if you do not report your result, you will get 0. And so we were laughing a little bit about the Spanglish. But the round was about to start, and neither of us had any idea of what was about to happen. So we shook hands and I started his clock. He went e4 and I went c5. He played d4 and I took that pawn. And here I decided to not get into the Smith-Morra, and instead this became an Alapin. Now I went knight c6 here. He went bishop c4, threatening my knight. And so I went back with the knight and threatened his bishop. He retreated. At this point, I didn't really know exactly how the theory was of this. And I spent a little bit of time considering my different options. And I ended up playing the move d6. He took on d6. And I took back with the queen. He castled. And at this point, I didn't know exactly what it was that I was supposed to do. But the funny thing is that I ended up playing this guy in the main tournament as well in a classical game. And we had this exact same position. So this position happened against this guy in a different game as well. And I actually didn't know it until this very moment when I'm rewatching this game and realizing it was the same position. Spent way more time than what I'm supposed to here. And I ended up going bishop f5. Just the same move I did in the classical game. Wait, I am in shock. I had no idea about this. My brain really always works the same way, doesn't it? Okay, well, my idea with bishop f5 was to prevent him from being able to play the move bishop c2. I'm placing it in that long diagonal. Typically against the Alapin, you want to prevent that bishop from going there, but actually this move isn't so amazing in this line. But I didn't know that. What I just knew is that I had way less time than him, and I only had 2 minutes left on the clock, and in a blitz game, this was going to become a very, very fast one. So he took the pawn on d4. I put on my glasses because this was serious now, and I instantly went e6. I wanted to prevent his pawn from pushing. It was time now for me to play way faster. He spent a few moments considering his different options, and he brought out his knight. I was feeling the pressure. But so far, I thought that I had a great position. I didn't see any problems at all. But in this position, I queenside castle. This is the first time I deviate from our future game. And here, I went long castles, feeling confident, feeling brave, feeling like I was going to win that pawn. But now, after bishop e3, my king was going to be in danger. And I did not know about it yet. So at this point, I saw many problems. For instance, that he was going to place his rook on c1, that his knight was going to come up. And I could really feel that. So I decided to just go bishop e7 and kind of ignore the problems. My idea was to go bishop f6, maybe start pushing my pawns against his king. But now when he placed his rook on that same file as my king, my problems started coming up to me. And I knew that there could be issues. So he has a completely much better position. He has played this perfectly so far. Sure, we're just in the opening, but he's made so many moves, the best moves, and he's really completely outplayed me in the opening. And I was just thinking, am I Is this what's happening? I knew it. I knew it. You can see in my face. I knew it. I was not happy whatsoever. But here he went queen e2, and I started feeling like maybe I have a bit more time. I went a6 to instantly stop his knight from being able to get to a better place. But now he was threatening to push his d-pawn. I needed to stop that d-pawn from pushing. I needed to avoid his rooks from getting active. And so I went knight d5. He traded, and now a bit of a sigh of relief came from me because I felt like at least his rooks are not going to bombard my king. And after I took back with the pawn, I thought maybe I'll be fine. Maybe I'll even be able to get an attack against his king. But he was still in a much better position. He had more time, and everything was pointing towards his favor. He did a great move, placing his knight in the middle of the board on the most central square. And now, once again, I was struggling. With less than a minute on the clock, I decided to take his knight because I thought his knight was going to become too strong. And after he took back, I needed to decide where do I go with my queen. I couldn't take the pawn because he then goes bishop a7 check and wins my queen. So I went queen g6 to try to get some counterattack on his king. He had way more time than me, and I thought I'm gonna lose this first game. I'm gonna lose this first game. He's playing so much better than his rating. How is it possible that he's only rated 1600? I didn't understand. But he went bishop f4 here, and I thought maybe this move is a little bit slow. Maybe now I can stop him. His idea was to go e6 and check, but I decided to go bishop g5. And the point was that I wanted to get some activity against his king and eliminate his really strong bishop. I'm also right now stopping him from being able to take that pawn on d5 because then his rook is going to be hanging. So rook f4. He now protected the rook and threatened to take my pawn. I could really feel the tension. The time was ticking down. I pushed the pawn, and now once again, he's in a much better position. I just wanted to try to get that pawn to promote, but I didn't know how. And here he has some different tactical ideas, but he only had 30 seconds left. So he went queen c4, and this was not the best move because now he allows me to get in with my queen and bishop. However, I only had a few seconds left. I went bishop e4, threatening checkmate in 1. He cannot go f3 because I'll take the pawn. I now thought I'm back in the game, and I thought maybe I'm even winning. I didn't know what he was going to do to stop it. So his time started ticking, and I just felt like finally, I'm back. He went g3, and I thought that I need to infiltrate on those light squares. So I went queen g4, threatening the rook, but then I realized that the rook isn't actually threatened, and I just knew that I was threatening to go queen f3. So he touched his rook, and he ended up taking there. And I think he hesitated for a moment because he thought there might be some checkmate plan, but there isn't. And now, with 6 seconds on the clock, I played rook takes rook, and then I knew I just had to go queen f3 and figure out a way. He checked me, and I had to find the best place for my king. I ended up going king h8, and here I thought that I am just simply winning. I thought, how can you prevent the checkmate? But now he found a way with his king to escape, and I realized, wait, this is maybe just a draw. I didn't know what to do. So I started trying to check him. I really wanted to win this game, but now once again, he's in a winning position. He's played this so well. I checked him again, and he only had a second on the clock. He made a move with 1 second, but now he went the wrong way, and I checkmated him. He just had to go king g1, and this game would be a draw. And he played a fantastic game from him being 1600 rated. And his FIDE classical rating is of 1750, but in the tournament, he ended up doing a fantastic tournament and drawing much higher rated opponents and beating higher rated opponents. And he's definitely underrated. So I was very happy I was able to win this game. And spoiler alert, I did at the end up winning as well the classical game against him that I played a few days later. But I cannot believe that we played the exact same opening. Anyways, it was really fun to play him. And this was just round 1 out of many rounds in the Menorca Blitz. Hope you enjoyed the video. And let me know what you thought about the game. Thank you so much for watching.